Hello, everybody, and welcome to the From Poverty to Progress channel. The channel is devoted to promoting an awareness and understanding of human material progress. My name is Michael Bagoon. I'm the author of the From Poverty to Progress book series. Today, we're going to talk about what I believe are the 10 best books on progress. Now, these books will be listed in no particular order, but they must conform to the following rules. First of all, they have to be very broad in scope. They can't just be about one country or region or a specific time period or technology. They have to discuss long-term positive trends in human material progress, and there needs to be at least some theoretical contribution to the reason why we have this progress. Finally, it needs to be readable by a general audience, so you don't have very technical manuscripts in this list. For each one of these books, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I'm going to do a full book review on each one of them in later episodes. So let's get on to the list. The first on the list is Factfulness by Hans Rosling. I think this would be a really good book to start out with. It's very well written, and it does focus a lot on developing countries and how they are progressing, but it has a broader scope than that. Probably of all the books, it is the most entertaining to read, so I would highly recommend this one to start off with. Now, if you want to convince other people that progress exists, I think this might be a better book, which is 10 Global Trends Every Smart Person Should Know by Ronald Bailey and Marian Tupy. I would consider this more of a coffee table book. It's not the kind of book that you're going to sit and read through in one sitting. It's broken up into very small sections that are easy to read in 60 seconds or less, and they give a very good account of how much progress there has been. So it's a great way to start if you want to convince someone that progress exists. It's not as entertaining a read as Factfulness, but it's still pretty darn good. Third on the list is Enlightenment Now, The Case for Reason, Science, Humanism, and Progress by Steven Pinker. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of Steven Pinker. He's written many wonderful books. This one is the one that's the most focused on the concept of progress. And though I don't agree with Steven Pinker on the reasons why we have progress, I think it's really a fantastic read. Fourth on our list is The Rational Optimist, How Prosperity Evolves by Matt Ridley. Now we're dealing with a book that I think is a little bit better on a theoretical standpoint of understanding the causes of progress. Matt Ridley looks at modern progress as something that evolved very similar to a biological system. And that played a very important role in influencing me in writing my book. So I would highly recommend Matt Ridley. And by the way, he's written a lot of other really good books. So pretty much anything Matt Ridley has written is probably worth checking out. Next on our list is Progress, 10 Reasons to Look Forward to the Future by Johan Norberg. Now, Johan has written 2 books about progress. The other one I haven't quite finished, so I'm not quite sure if it would make that list, but it still is a very good read. It's called Open, and this, I believe, is a better book in getting at the reasons for progress, why it exists, and why we could look forward to the future. Next on our list, this is a lot more theoretical. It's a much more difficult read than some of the others, but I think it's more theoretically significant than any other book, and that is Nonzero, The Logic of Human Destiny by Robert Wright. And I have to say, this book is on a very short list of books that have been most influential in my thinking. I think this is a brilliant book, and again, it's not an easy read. I wouldn't call it difficult, but it's the kind of thing you really have to be interested in it to keep plowing on. It's not a page turner like some of the other books, but I would highly recommend it. Next on our list is Abundance, The Future is Better Than You Think by Peter H. Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. Now, compared to other books here, this is more focused on the future, which is technically a little bit outside of what I consider progress studies, which is really about studying the past. But I think they build a very strong theoretical foundation of what progress is and why they believe that it will continue in the future. So I would highly recommend this book as well. Finally, we come to Stubborn Attachments by Tyler Cohen. Now, I have to say that this book is perhaps it's stretching it a bit to say this book is about progress. Really, what this book is about is economic growth and why economic growth is important, not just for our standard of living, but also for human flourishing. And in all fairness, I have to say that I'm a little bit biased on this because I do have a conflict of interest. Professor Cohen funded the publication costs of my book series From Poverty to Progress via an Emergent Ventures seed money donation. But I have to say, I'm pretty confident that this book would be on the list regardless of whether he made a generous donation to me or not. Finally, a book that really doesn't get a lot of publicity, but I think it deserves to be on this list, although I would say it probably is down near the bottom. It is called Future Perfect, The Case for Progress in a Networked World by Stephen Johnson, who has also written a number of fantastic books. Most of them don't deal with progress, but they're still great reads. Now, Stephen Johnson's book is more focused on modern day technology and the future than some of these other books, but I still think he gives a very interesting perspective that is somewhat close to my progress-based perspective that I'm arguing for. And finally, I know, this is shameless promotion. I plead guilty to this, but I do believe that my own book, From Poverty to Progress, Understanding Humanity's Greatest Achievements, deserves to be on this list. So I won't say any more because it's obvious I'm biased, but I do recommend that you check out this book. So, where do you go if you're interested in these books and you want to know more? Well, I would recommend going to my website, techratchet.com, and each one of the books that I listed out has its own book summary. You can find that specific book summary in the search bar up in the top right. Just type in the title or the author and it'll pop right up, and then you'll get to see a lot more detail of what I think about this book. I would also recommend going to my website, frompovertytoprogress.com. With a free email subscription, you get free ebook samples, free audio samples, and discounted prices on my ebooks and audiobooks. If you wish to pay full price, well, then you can get it on Amazon, Ingram Spark, or audiobooks on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Now it's time for our free book giveaway. It will be a digital copy of From Poverty to Progress. Here are the contest rules. First of all, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then you need to join my website, frompovertytoprogress.com. Leave a constructive comment for this YouTube episode. It doesn't have to be positive, but just something substantive so I know what you like or what you dislike or whether you'd like me to do more book reviews in the future. Exactly 1 week after this video is published, I will randomly choose one commenter. I will post the username of the winner in the community tab and ask the person to email me. You must email me within 1 week. After I authenticate you, I will then email a link for the free download. So that concludes this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm going to be starting a lot more book reviews on these books that I already covered and many, many more. So please stay tuned. Goodbye.